Hello and welcome, guys, to World at View, the first and best podcast from within the European Parliament. I'm here today with Noel Simon, who works for the LGBTQIA Intergroup of the Hungarian Parliament, is also well known as an activist and advocate for queer rights, identity rights in general. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, hi guys.
Thank you very much for coming. We spent some time together, especially in Budapest.
Yeah.
It wasn't a vacation. It was more like us showing a big middle finger to Viktor Orban.
I mean, that was definitely successful, I would rather say. There
So-
were more than 500 of you there.
500
International delegations, like
wow.
yeah.
So we're talking about the Budapest Pride, of course, for everyone who didn't realize until now. How do you feel about it now that it's over? It's 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
What's your emotions? Because I remember back in the day before, there was the biggest feeling for me, and I think everyone else, was uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working with the organizers of Budapest Pride and also with the municipality of Budapest, who at the end of the day co-organize the whole event since March, I think. So you know how the journey towards the 30th Budapest Pride was a hectic one, and it was rather a difficult one, especially that the government was constantly saying something and then giving you a kind of notice, kind of making threats to diplomatic corps not to attend, and all of this kind of stuff. My task was basically to coordinate international delegations coming from the European Parliament, also to lobby in face of the European Commission, for instance, to have a step, from Commissioner Hajjalabib. In a way, as we mentioned before, it was successful because there were more than 500 international delegates presented, in most numbers, I think, from Germany, actually. Because there were 3 buses coming from Köln, Hamburg, and Berlin.
Very happy to hear that. Germany being strong.
Yeah, that's 100%, that's the truth. And the thing is that, on the day of Budapest Pride, I mean, on a personal level, my mother-in-law, my boyfriend's mother, and my mother with my sister for the first time in their, 50-something years, they attended Budapest Pride.
Oh, really?
And that really shows the importance of how this Pride was not just necessarily about LGBT rights, but really showing a middle finger to Orban.
As civil society as a whole.
Yeah, and then, after this whole thing happened, it was gradually getting better and better, because at least in Budapest, you really felt like you're safe.
Yeah.
People are on your side.
Yeah.
You're the majority. It was a huge success. And honestly, the government and Orban, personally, he couldn't do anything about
No,
the
what do you want to do against 400,000 people marching in peace? Really, like, it was the most calm demonstration I have seen in my life.
And the happiest one as well. The 2000s bop and everything with the drag queens and the voguing people. That was amazing. I mean, that was at least one part where I was.
Yeah.
But I bet you had a different kind of experience, given the fact that you were like an hour ahead of us, because it literally took like 5 hours.
Yeah, it was a very, very long time. Yeah, so my sorry again. So my experience was actually a bit detached from what I had expected, because I thought that we would be walking with the diplomatic corps.
Yeah.
But because there was so many people, and I think it was very hard to keep everyone together, my team and the MEP of my dear colleague Lena Schilling and her team, and some other Green MEPs and people from Austria, we got kind of lost, and so we were, I would say, half an hour behind the people that we were actually to walk with, and so we just walked like in the middle of the crowd.
Yeah.
And that was then really nice, because everyone that we talked with during the march, and I mean, I think for you it was the same, we were talking with people left and right, were super happy when they learned that they are actually now having 2-3 MEPs in front of them, and also MPs from the Austrian Parliament, just walking in the middle of the crowd. And the only situation where we were reminded that we were actually there as parliamentary representatives and not citizens, of course, also being citizens, was when out of nowhere the official photographer of the European Parliament just popped out in front of us and made photos, and we were like, how the hell did you find us within 400,000 people?
That's a great question. I want
Yeah.
his methods or their methods, that's
Yeah.
for sure. But just so you know, you were hectic. Like, you know, when we had the photo shoot
Yeah.
in front of József Nádor Square, and then we had the mini march
Yeah.
towards the city hall. I don't know how and why. I guess this is how it seems it's hard to coordinate 500 people at the same time, especially if it's high-ranking
Yeah.
people. So, you know, ministers from Spain, the deputy prime minister, you know, all of the European parliamentary representatives, all of the, I mean, there were more than 70 MPs coming from all across Europe and beyond. And the funny thing is, everyone felt like, okay, I can manage to do that. We had a security protocol, but then you collectively decided that you're not going to follow that. And I was super happy with that because honestly, what I think the best is to, you know, get together with people, march as citizens.
Yeah.
Of course, you understand the duty that you're there to kind of use your immunity, diplomatic immunity, and everything that's coming with that. But on the other hand, it's also how you get the true feeling of being at Budapest Pride and, you know, being in the crowd. So at the end of the day, I was really happy that actually everyone was like marching everywhere within the crowd. So, yeah.
No, I agree. And I think it's in a situation like this, it's impossible to keep the people together, especially politicians. I think politicians a little bit in a situation like this are like kindergarten children because they do what the fuck they want. They are there. Everyone is there on their own mission, and that's why we are a little bit like we politicians. We are a little bit like excited cattle in this situation.
And of course, there's also the problem, or not necessarily a problem, but we didn't really expect that many people turning up. I mean, we knew that it's going to be the largest one. Before this Pride, it was usually around like 30 to 35,000 people marching. And now it's been hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, the turnout was amazing.
So at the end of the day, we calculated, and the organizers calculated with the number of volunteers that's going to be there.
Yeah.
And obviously, since, you know, you were the high profile one, and basically like in smaller amount of people was there, it was basically just the two of us who were trying to keep everyone together with Anna, my colleague, Anna Bugarova. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Anna.
She's been a huge help. So we really appreciate everything that she's been voluntarily doing for the organizing of Budapest Pride. But at the end of the day, honestly, what I'm most thankful for is that it's been secure, it's been peaceful, it's been really a happy Pride March.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it really showed that what Hungarians do think.
Yeah. And that's something that I think no one expected, actually. Like everyone knew that it's gonna be, that the Pride will happen in some way, that there will be people resisting, but that this sign will be so strong that so many people from all around Europe will come, and that it will be a situation that the Orban government has no tool to do against. I think that showed you, and I think the only thing here left to say is let's hope that the criminal proceedings against the mayor don't go through. But all in all, it's gonna be a very great success. I think everyone agrees with that, and we can be happy about this. At the same time, we are talking today while tomorrow, and once this podcast episode will air, this will be already lying behind of us. Tomorrow there's a Pride and we tried it 5 times in the conversation before the podcast, Pest.
Pécs.
Pest.
Yeah.
Pest.
Pest is a part
Yeah,
of
Pest is
Budapest.
Budapest.
Yeah.
Pest.
Yeah.
There's also a Pride. So that's a smaller city, of course, in Hungary. It's the last Pride in Hungary for this year, correct?
There's only 2.
Yeah.
So there's the first one and there's the last one
So
in this. Yeah.
It's the second one. It was not prohibited in the beginning. It was they put on a lot of administrative tricks.
Yeah, of course.
But it was not prohibited.
Yeah.
Like it,
I mean, let's
what's the
also face the
situation?
truth. Let's also face the truth. This is the 5th edition.
Yeah.
So for the past 4 years, it's been ongoing with no bans whatsoever. I mean, of course, there was no modification to the rule, to the right to assembly, and that kind of stuff, which created this new legal environment that the government can exercise this kind of power to ban Budapest Pride and Pécs Pride, for instance. But the thing is that just as it was with Budapest Pride, it's been an ongoing procedure, like legal procedure in front of the courts. So it's really good if you have German people listening to this podcast, because I can say that the Hungarian system, the justice system, is based on the German justice system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but only that it's non-functional. So it's not democratic. So everything with like assemblies, you need to go to like online or to the police. You need to say that I want to have this, and the police can only say that, all right, I understood, you're gonna do this, or they're gonna say that I think it's unconstitutional or goes against like our rules or the legal system itself, and then the legal proceedings start. Legal proceedings first at the first level of the Curia, which is the, let's say, like the Supreme Court, and then it will say within like 3 days what's going to be the final judgment. And then the final judgment was initially that the police was right. It should be banned because, hear me out, because you cannot expect people turning up and not having flags or other representation of materials that might endanger the child's healthy, like, kind of way of growing up. Do you understand this?
I mean, I understand the
So-
word. I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't make any sense.
This is
huh?
the reasoning
Yeah.
that you cannot expect that there won't be any kind of like pride flags and this kind of stuff, and that pride flags would endanger child's rights. So this is the exact kind of, I mean, the legal side of me talking, of course, that like, how the fuck can you actually say that this and that going to happen? You're not looking into the future. This has no legal basis. You cannot see the future. You don't know what's going to happen. And on the other side, I also know that there's no point of legally, minding this whole business, because, of course, this is just a political trick, which the authorities follow. But at the end of the day, this is the current situation. Of course, what happened is the same kind of thing that happened with Budapest Pride, only without the help of the municipality of Pécs, that the organizers decided that no matter what's going on, they're gonna organize, and they invite everyone to join who attended Budapest Pride. Of course, we know it's gonna be a smaller kind of event and march, but still, I think it's gonna be in numbers quite big.
I mean, that's maybe an interesting question now, given that we are talking one day before that, and people will be listening to this podcast like a few weeks or a month afterwards.
Yeah.
So you can now prove your capabilities as a witch, looking into a crystal ball.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think? How many people will be there?
Okay, we should have like a like a pop-up quiz, like do like 30 seconds for your audience as well to kind of guess
You
how
can
many
you
people.
can write in the comments now. What do you think? How many people have been there before checking it? You can check it afterwards.
Yeah, so I think usually there's around like 1,000 to 2,000 people in recent years. Of course, it's October. The weather in Brussels and in Eastern Germany, in Western Germany / Northern Germany, is usually, shitty this time of year. so it's in Budapest. So I think that it's not gonna rain, so the turnout will be bigger. So I expect on like 3.5K, so 3,500 people
That's
showing up.
something, yeah.
That seems like solid because it's a bigger city.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of other cities around. We also organize 3 buses from Budapest to Pécs, so we give the opportunity to people to go there for free, of course. And as well, I think that it's a university town with a lot of exchange students.
That's gonna be helpful.
Yeah, I think that a lot of them are going to be there, and it is a major university city.
So 3,500 is locked in. Second,
What do you think? Okay, no. What do you think?
I mean, I have. Before you start talking, I had no idea about the metrics.
Yeah, but now you know.
Now that I know, I would say I'm a bit more optimistic.
Okay.
I go with 4,000
Okay.
because I think you didn't count in the mobilization effect that comes from the success of Budapest Pride.
Okay,
That's something
true.
which I can imagine will will bring people to go there. I know that from the diplomatic side this time it's not an event where people will go like in the same way they went to Budapest Pride, which of course on the one hand it's sad, but it makes sense for us, the members of the European Parliament. We only have so many battles that we can fight, and we picked Budapest and we won Budapest. So yeah, but the second speculation question, second time you look into the crystal ball, because that was something what was one of the greatest moments for me was before the Budapest Pride. Everyone was scared also because of the counter demonstrations.
Yeah.
And everyone was scared that the police might not protect us, or that after the demonstration ended in the evening in the city there will be hunting scenes, because we saw this in Germany with neo-Nazi protesters hunting, for example, refugees some time ago. And then when we walked with our 400,000 people, at some point we came across this sorry ass losers who were like 20 far right counter demonstrators holding some silly thing up where something said about pedophilia.
No, it's like LGBTQP, and they usually add D as well.
Yeah.
Pedophilia and
Yeah,
drugs,
yeah.
like.
So I was really
Fucking morons.
looking in their face and seeing that they are also realizing, fuck, we are here with 20 people and they are like hundreds of thousands of people, and we clearly lost this battle.
Yeah, but let's not forget the fact that they stood there for 5 continuous hours. So if something,
people marching.
they
And
they have the face, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a terrible situation for them, you know. And then I think in total it was like 200, 300 counter demonstrators around
we
all
should
of the city.
should thank them for one thing. The original route was supposed to be through Liberty Bridge, Szabadság híd.
Yeah.
Which is half of the size.
Shorter.
The bridge we actually needed to go because they closed the other bridge.
I was scared that the bridge we went across would crumble underneath our feet,
I mean,
thousands of people on the side.
Don't worry. We
you checked that
checked that, of course, but then of course no music was allowed.
Yeah.
From the trucks, because that would resonate with with the bridge.
Totally. I mean, but so we had like 300,000 people on one side and 500 people on the other side. When we now come to the Pride that will take place tomorrow, what do you think? How many? Given that you said 3,500 demonstrators, how many counter demonstrators do you think will be there?
So it's also very hard to kind of give a number or put a number on how many counter protesters there's gonna be, because what we experienced at Budapest Pride is that in the beginning they decided to basically announce a counter protest, not a counter protest because their protests were eligible according to the police. Like Budapest Pride was illegal. So in that sense, we were the counter protest to them. That's the Orban sense, So what happened basically is that the turnout, like, it was 2 to 3 per square from the neo-Nazis, because there were no people who wanted to go out there, you know. I mean, of course, there's these really hardline, stupid people who would be there no matter what, and, you know, just incite hate.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen in Pécs. I'm 100%. But what I really believe is going to happen, and I try to be a bit optimistic in this sense, that still the police is only there for Orban to kind of, you know, make Orban's wishes come true. But when it comes to the ground, a lot of the policemen are also have this notion of protecting people no matter what they think. And at that point, I really do believe that even if the turnout is going to be, I think, 300 counter protesters, so that's my number, they're gonna separate. The police is going to separate.
Most definitely.
I mean, that's their constitutional obligation.
Well, and that's what they also did in Budapest, right?
I mean, at the end, because let's not forget that they had the blockade at Astoria Square.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think from everything you say, it will be another win for us.
Yeah.
It's a smaller battle.
That's why we're doing it.
But it will be another Pride, and maybe we have more prides even next year in Hungary than just
I already
two.
know that there's some organizations going on in Debrecen.
Yeah.
And then as well in Szeged. These are also 2 major cities. And I really do hope that it's going to happen, especially if there's going to be finally a change of regime.
I mean, and we can actually look up the polls right now. I think it should be 42.
It's around like 44 to 36,
right? Let's
something
see.
like that.
That's the nice thing about modern technology. So right now we have Tisza, 43%, and Fidesz 40%. So Fidesz actually gained something there.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
it's gonna be,
you know, it's coming and going, but also let's not minimize the effect of if Fidesz is in power. They're gonna do everything to remain in power. The elections are going to take place on 2026 April the 12th. We already know that. And how it's supposed to be the obligation for the president to announce this date, but there's like a leaked document within Fidesz that said that the elections are going to take place this and that day.
I mean, they do everything they can. We will vote about Mr. Maiga's immunity 2 times. Next plenary week.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
I mean, that's
they didn't go through the committee, right?
Sorry?
The committee vote didn't go through.
That I don't know, but I guess it must, because I'm embarrassing myself a little bit here now, but
I mean, are you a member of the committee?
No, I'm not a member of the committee, but I was always under the impression that when we vote about the immunity in the plenary, this only happens when the committee approved.
Honestly,
that's something that I'm gonna ask the intergroup actually, because I think we in the intergroup of the LGBTQ plus intergroup, the AI is missing because of the Commission's phrasing in the legislative documents. We coordinate our voting, of course, when it comes to these related issues. And I would say the whole situation with Mr. Maigar is actually it's also related, you know. It's around the corner related in a way. We want him to kick Orban out, basically. So let's see.
Everyone wants that.
Yeah,
I do want that. I mean, imagine I grew up in Hungary. I know nothing with me being politically minded. I know nothing but Orban. It's time for me to move on from Orban. You know?
Would you say that the intergroup of the Hungarian Parliament also works on that? So where's your role as the intergroup? I mean, you help with the organizations of prides, but do you also facilitate political mobilization within the institutions like we do?
Yeah. So the thing is that I'm the coordinator for A Diverse Hungary, the LGBT intergroup there. We use LGBTQ actually, but I'm gonna refer it to LGBT or LGBTQ. It doesn't matter. Um, so the thing is that there are 20 MPs across 4 factions. Of course, you first need to understand how the parliament works in Hungary. There's a supermajority for Fidesz. Fidesz basically controls the House, the government, and as well the judiciary, let's say, even though it's supposed to be like a completely free branch, it's not. So the thing is that just because Fidesz has this supermajority, so out of the 199 seats in the Hungarian parliament, 135 or 6, I'm not even sure. I should look up my facts, but it's Fidesz. So this means that I mentioned earlier that it's based on the German constitutional system, but in a shittier way. So it is in a shittier way, we unicameral. And as well, let's not forget the fact that when it comes to the modification to the constitution, for example, it's enough to have just 2/3 majority. And then no referendum whatsoever is needed. So the thing is that now you understand that whatever Fidesz wants, just modifications to different laws, new laws, amendments to the constitution, new constitution, which they actually did in 2011 when they got to power. The electoral law, and everything else they have. So it's really hard to mobilize, even though we coordinate, not just within parliament, not just on LGBTQI rights, but also we coordinate on everything else because, our opposition is so small that we need to kind of stand up for the same values and coordinate what's going on. And I'm really proud and I'm happy that this intergroup was founded in 2022, first of its kind. There is nothing like this in the Hungarian parliament. This is the only issue that these parties have been constantly and from month to month, coordinating what they're gonna do and what they're gonna say about it. Because this is the first and foremost, like the first line with what we agree. Because there's a lot of, engagement when it comes to economic policies or social policies or this kind of stuff. There's always some dispute around it. But LGBTQI rights, it's always there at some point. So my job basically, besides the coordination of the intergroup, is to make sure that we kind of have the alternative channels to protect the LGBTQ community, because we cannot do that in parliament. So what we are doing, we are building bridges. We're building the bridges back between the LGBTQI civil society organizations, the human rights organizations, and our political parties, which has been long destroyed before me. So I'm not the one.
It's quite impressive that it's the first
intergroup
of its kind, because we here in the European Parliament, it's a standard procedure, right? I just yesterday, because I found out about it and I think it's hilarious, I joined the beer intergroup. Which is just about beer, and
I was actually not right. There was an intergroup before this, and that's like a praying group.
Praying, you have everything. Yeah. So I think it's a very important step for you, and you are there at the forefront of the democratic resistance, I think. And I mean, we can just say one part of your work is sorry. We can just say one part of your work is basically this coordination with the European Parliament, and you have great success because you managed to get 70 members of the European Parliament to Budapest, which is 1/10, close to 1/10, which is, people may think, no, oh, it's only 70 out of 700, but that's a fucking lot. Like having so many members of the European Parliament at one event, at one day, at the same time, that's something that barely ever happens. It barely ever happens in the plenary. Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy that you are the link, and you can provide us as the European institutions as a channel to support the fight in Hungary.
That's one of the most important tasks. So besides, of course, building back the bridges with civil society organizations, because they have, the professional knowledge, they have the connection to the community and everything like that. The thing is that civil society organizations also have the channels to different parties, different... I'm sure that you know civil society representatives as a European parliamentary representative. But the thing is that they don't have the right channels if they want to do something quick and right. And this is where we can step in the game. And let's say that, yeah, we also have MEPs. We also represented in the Renew faction, in the EGP, in the SND. We also have connections to the left, and as well, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but the EPP as well. No hard feelings to
No,
EPP
don't be
people.
sorry to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, we need, and they are part of the democratic camp, and even though they do mistakes, they represent the
Yeah.
biggest singular group in society.
Yeah, this is why we are trying to, still be in touch with them. And the thing is that we managed to get also Hadja Labib to the table, the
That's an
commissioner
amazing
for
thing.
equality. And we've been strongly and, closely coordinating with Budapest Pride on what's going to happen with the commission and what's the commission's going to do about the banning of Budapest Pride. So in that sense, it's amazing. But let's not forget that also the civil society organizations, they also have a really huge impact on mobilizing INGOs, international civil society, and non-governmental organizations, and as well international organizations such as the Council of Europe or the UN and other representatives coming from all across the globe for Budapest, and unfortunately not to Pécs Pride tomorrow.
Next
so the
time.
thing is, I really am proud that we managed to gather such a large support, a large scale support with the organizers of Budapest Pride, the municipality, and also our parliamentary intergroup.
I think that's a beautiful conclusion.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, we could talk end on end now about more topics, the related developments in legislation, the role of other European institutions. But I think the most important thing that people can take from this year is that there was a move done by people in power against democracy, against freedom, and we came together as people from all over Hungary, as people from all over Europe. We used our voices and our rights as citizens, and we used our powers as talking about you and me and all the other people in question as members of certain institutions, and we fought back, and we will fight back. So to come to an end, as you maybe know, we have a tradition in the podcast that it's 3 quick fire questions to you. So just speak your mind. The first question would be if you
Try to be quick.
yeah, if you would, it's very simple answers. If you would found a party, what would be the name of the party?
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's no good because I'm already, coordinating 5 parties together. So that's complicated.
So you know
enough.
a lot of names, huh?
I don't know. It would be something, like a word game with some like solidarity or like this kind of stuff, like word game. I actually pretty much enjoy how you done with the PDF and then
Thank
the
you.
youth part, the JPG. So that is something I appreciate that.
Thank you for
yeah,
that. So
the word
solidarity party, maybe.
Yeah, but like a word game with that. I'm not that creative to come up with on top of my head.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Second question. If you would give a school grade to Ursula von der Leyen for her,
Bro,
when
what?
we're fair, we start from this mandate. So it's basically starting from this mandate.
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain also very short how the school grade system in Hungary works, and then you give
It's 0 to 5.
0 to 5. What's 0?
I mean, 0 is basically you're not doing it, but 1 is not passing.
And 5
2,
is the
3.
best.
Yeah, 5
okay,
is the
so
best.
from 0 to 5, which grade to Ursula von der Leyen for this mandate?
Yeah, I remember there was a guy who said in your podcast, "Can I give a 0?" And that would be me as well.
Okay.
Not because I'm not. I do understand the complexity of governing this whole mess that's here. It's highly bureaucratic. It needs reforms. I mean, I am Hungarian, so I am so sorry for Orban constantly vetoing everything in the council.
Yeah.
So I do understand that it's not mainly just on her, but just one thing: if you say something, please be true to your words. Don't say that you're working for the Union of Equality when in the next speech you're gonna not even mention LGBTQ people when it comes to human rights issues in the European Union. Yeah. For me, that is nothing but hypocrisy. And what we've seen during Budapest Pride, what we've seen now for Pécs Pride, is that the Commission is not mobilizing itself, and they are always saying that I know within a month there will be a judgment from the European Court of Justice regarding the propaganda law. But honestly, you have more tools at your disposal than just waiting for 5 years and then leaving LGBTQ people behind in the meantime. So this is why I'm giving 0.
Fair assessment there. Last thing, and I would like for you to look directly in the camera, your message to the world.
Oh, guys, honestly, just have your, good personality out to the people, show your solidarity, show your mercy, and honestly, just be good. It doesn't matter if you think that it's going to be something that other people is going to appreciate or not appreciate. Just be true to yourself.
Thank you very much, Noel.
Yeah, thank you so
for
much.
your work.
Okay,
And
that was a firm
Brussels handshake.
That's for sure.
Guys, have you been at Budapest Pride? If so, write it down in the comments. If not, what's your thoughts on Orban in general? Thank you for listening. This was World at View, and I hope to see you next time.